And now it's time for a big review on what I've been up to in the Lego barn. As you can see, I have been very busy. At least I hope you can tell. Normally my floors are covered with various projects, and now I'm happy to say everything is 100% clean. I am beyond ecstatic with how awesome my barn is looking right now. Now I want to take you guys on a real quick tour of what I got going on. First, one of the things I've decided to do with my small town display, once I finally get back to actually working on it, I'm going to be using a lot of different sets. I know the majority of people do not like sets, or at least the people that have been following me don't want to see sets, but I have been collecting these sets since they started coming out. And when I say sets, I'm referring to the Lego modular buildings. And yes, my cafe corner is modified. A lot of my buildings are modified, but I love the modular building series, and I intend on using every one of them in my small town display and mixing in a lot of my own mocks as well. This will help minimize the mess in my barn and also put a lot of the really cool buildings that I like somewhere displayed in my barn. Next up, I started doing this, and here's what I did. I found these tables here at Big Lots. They were on sale for $264 a piece. They are exactly 40 inches by 60 inches in size, and they can withstand a lot of weight, which is a good thing because I intend on doing nothing but skyscrapers on top of this table. And because skyscrapers are so heavy and they take up so much space, I thought just doing a few small skyscrapers on this table would be the best way to handle it. And I can't wait to get back to starting working on my Flatiron building. This is a building I started last year, and I never really finished. Well, as you can tell, I've never finished it. I've only got the first 5 floors done, and then I kind of came to a screeching halt. But I do have all the parts sitting in bins back behind me. So this is something you can fully expect to see me getting back to in the near future. One of the things that I've done is I have cleaned up everything that was on the floor because I had buildings just stashed everywhere. And I have been tearing stuff apart everywhere. And just to point out, I do still have some things that I haven't ripped apart yet. These are my old Mills roads, and I'm kind of unsure on what to do with them. I've debated on leaving them together, so if I start going to shows, I have roads that I can just pop out, take together, or take with me, and quickly set up a display. And I've also thought about destroying them, but either way, that's why they're still sitting here. And then I also have my Privet Drive mock, which was the 4 Privet Drive buildings. I've debated on taking 3 of them apart and just keeping the last one, but I'm still unsure, and that's why those are untouched. Now, because I love these buildings so much, I didn't want to destroy them, so I just simply said, you know what, let me get rid of the table I had here. I'm going to put these buildings here, and I may end up building a small, like, beach area or something at some point in the future, but either way, I really like when I first walk into the barn to be able to open my door and just see these awesome buildings. And then I have shelves on either side to display some of the Lego builds that I don't want to pull apart. And I've done that same thing over in this corner of the barn. This is where all my lighting products are. I was making so many different lighting products, it was getting to the point that I was tripping over stuff, and I was just having a hard time staying organized. So originally all of my parts were here behind the couch. And what I did is I had my computers were over here in my build space, which always kept my build space, no matter how clean it was, a disaster because I didn't have a lot of space on my table because the computers were taking a lot of that up. So I got this computer center, I've got my file cabinets and all that set up, so now all of my lighting stuff, all my computer stuff can stay away from my build area, and then all this lighting stuff is away from all of my Lego building things, which is a huge improvement. This will give me a lot more ability to build, design, and work on things over here without interfering with my Lego lighting business. So needless to say, a lot of the cleanup effort has been me just building different types of shelving and cabinets and desks and you name it, I've been putting it together. I have a few shelves over here as well. And I just took stuff that's already assembled that was laying around the garage and kind of threw some of it up here. I even have my Daily Bugle and some pirate ships and whatnot. And I will probably be adding more of these shelves throughout the barn at a later date. But for now, My main focus was being able to get it to where I can walk through here comfortably and freely and get it to where I can start working on my builds again, which is my big concern. And as I mentioned earlier, from me tearing everything apart, you can just see that how much all my drawers are now overflowing with parts, which is a good thing. It's also a bad thing, but it's a good thing. What I mean by it can be a bad thing, you can never have enough Lego parts. I can't even close these drawers. Some of them are so full. But the good thing is now I have a surplus of parts that I really didn't realize I had just simply by tearing apart a bunch of old buildings. And I still have these in these 3 bins here that I need to sort parts and get put away before I'm totally finished, but I'm really happy with the progress. And then just to show you, because I talked about the flat iron building, all these bins right here, these are all flat iron building parts. So I should have most of what I need to actually start working on that building again. I just have to actually bring it over here and start working on it on my table. I'm also constantly working on new products, and here's what I mean. This is one thing I've been playing with right now. This is a way to illuminate the Jazz Club sign, and I am pretty ecstatic about it, although I'm thinking I might change this outer coloring to yellow, but I think this is going to work really well, and it'll give the Jazz Club more of a neon sign as opposed to the original way that they had it set up, which is just using the Lego, I call it the gun pieces that are on the side of it. But don't get me wrong, this was an amazing design. I think the original set looks really good, but I think it's going to look even better with some lights on it. The next thing coming up is, guess what, guys? I've had a lot of people ask me to make a proper working 4-way intersection, and I finally do have it, as you can see by watching this little video clip. It is fully functioning and correct. Now, this is designed to work in a manner and fashion for the United States. I know a lot of people over in Europe and whatnot will say this is not how traffic lights are supposed to operate, but I assure you that is how they operate here in the United States. And here was my goal. My goal was to make the control board for this as small as possible. And this is how compact I've been able to get this. And I will be doing a very in-depth video about this at a later date. But the point with this is small enough that I can build it into a Mills plate. And I'm going to be making a video about that very soon, because this should be going up for sale here in about 2 more weeks. I'm just waiting for delivery from the factory that I have producing 500 of these to be able to get them to you guys. And there was another company, which is Brick Stuff, that used to sell a similar product as well. And with that particular product, he was charging, it was like $120 to make a fully functioning 4-way intersection. I'm going to be able to offer that same functionality and product. Well, my product is obviously much different, but I'm going to be able to offer this product at under $50. So it's going to be more than half of what Brick Stuff was able to sell this for. To quickly give you an explanation, each one of these, this would be all the reds, this is all the yellows, and this is all the green outputs, and they're labeled accordingly. But again, I will be making a full in-depth video about this product coming very soon. Now, just because I've got everything clean and finally to what I consider to be really organized in the Lego barn, that doesn't mean I'm going to be making a massive amount of videos again. What it does mean, though, is you can expect to at least see videos every now and then. I don't think I'll ever get back to the point where I will post videos every single day, because that actually beyond exhausted me. Having a full-time job and trying to do YouTube, it was just way too much for me. And my ultimate goal was to get back to where I could actually enjoy my hobby and build and be happy about it. That's all I have to share for this video, and hopefully we'll see you next time on Bevins Bricks.